Hi, everyone, and welcome to Mindful Chats with Nicole. Today, we're joined by Isabel Varela, a certified holistic life and business coach, shamanic practitioner, sound healer, and founder of Repurpose Your Life. After experiencing severe burnout, financial hardship, and feeling disconnected from herself despite outward success, Isabel rebuilt her life by combining nervous system regulation, shamanic practice, and practical strategy. Today, she helps high-achieving women clear the emotional and mental patterns keeping them stuck so that they can build lives and businesses that feel aligned, sustainable, and true to who they are. Welcome to the show, Isabel.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
Excited to have you. So before I go through my list of questions, I wanted to start with your story because it's really such a powerful one. And I know you went from burnout and debt and, feeling successful on the outside, but realizing you needed to completely rebuild your life. So what was that turning point moment, or what made you realize, okay, I need to make some changes?
So the biggest turning point was actually when I finally realized how much I was in debt. And that realization really helped me to realize, oh my God, I need to change something. But it didn't come through me looking at my files or anything. I was actually realizing how much clothes I still had and how much I had to still declutter my closet. And when I started to actually see all these physical things that I have, all these material things, the dresses, the clothes, they all had an old story, an old wound that was connected to it. And that actually helped me to realize, I've got to work on myself and my inner state. And during that time, I had started therapy, started a debt management program because I saw that I was over consuming to the point where I had a shopping addiction, to the point that I had reached $100,000 of debt. And
Wow.
once that really hit, I would say 30%. It didn't fully hit until I started to do some more work within myself and in therapy, that I finally saw I can't be doing this. And funny enough, that was a personal side. But on the outside, everyone saw me as this very successful fashion designer. My clothes were in 5 different boutiques. I was about to do a consignment contract with a luxury boutique in Dallas. I had my own studio, and I was dressing celebrities and VIPs. So I was well known. I was on TV, I was in magazines, but no one really saw what I was personally going through, nor did I want to show anybody. That was the biggest turning point in my life, because that's when I said, I can't be doing the same thing I'm doing over and over again. I got to change something, and I know there's something better. So that was the catalyst of everything. So that was when I was 28 years old. So that was, I need to do calculations on that. Hold, please. Where's my calculator?
That's funny.
Dun, dun. Hold on. That was 14 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
oh yeah.
it was like realizing how much debt you were in, realizing that you kind of had gotten out of control with it, and and also like not living authentically, I guess, because nobody was really recognizing how you were feeling and what was going on with you.
Correct. I knew how to wear all the different masks I was wearing, because that's how I thought I had to be to survive, to get noticed, to get validated, to get loved, to be loved, and to feel worthy enough. And being in the fashion industry, I was always putting on all these different masks and all these different layers of clothing. And even during that time, something never really sat right, but I continued because 1, I was making money. 2, I was being recognized. Number 3, um, making money even though I was in the red. um, and yeah, just it was something that I wanted to change, but I didn't know how. But I found my greatest mentor. He passed in 2024, but he gave me all the tools to help me to be able to change my own life.
Mm. So I guess that my question to you would be, was it more that you were, I mean, it seems like the shopping addiction, of course, was you were filling some sort of void or filling some sort of gap that you maybe didn't realize was in your life. So no matter how much money you would have made, you probably would have still been in debt, I would imagine.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Just clarifying. So
Very, very,
you,
yes, very true.
okay. So you describe helping women clear inner clutter. So I'm assuming that is an aspect of inner clutter. But, tell us in your own words, like how it affects your health and what you've discovered and how you help people with this.
Oh, yeah. So inner clutter really affects all the four bodies, everything, and also physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, everything.
Mhm.
And what I started to notice was whenever I wasn't in alignment or in congruence with who I actually am, it really affected um my relationships, my business as well. Because even though I had all these successes, I really never fully believed in myself.
Oh,
Um, so even though I had all these different strategies, even though people were telling me, "Oh, this is great," it just wasn't enough. So that was part one of the clutter. So that's mentally. Spiritually, I would say I was always trying to grasp at something to give me some type of answer. And then energetically, I just felt super heavy because I knew I didn't want to be in that place, but I just didn't know how to get out. And then physically, it actually started showing up physically in my environment, my relationships, different patterns, and they all kept pointing to, uh-oh, I need to change something. I have to start taking responsibility and accountability for my own actions. And so the way I help people, we look at the patterns that are keeping us stuck. And a lot of the processes that I share have been mixed with the teaching that I learned from my mentor. He was a psychology. He had his doctorate in psychology. He went to Bryn Mawr, and what he did, which helped me, he mixed 8 different types of psychologies to really help in rewiring and really changing your patterns, thoughts, behaviors, actions, intentions, everything. And with that constant repetition, it helped me. When I saw how much my life was changing, and by 2018, I had paid off all my debt. And the way that I saw myself, I was like, I gotta, I gotta help as many people as possible. And then
absolutely.
that's when I became a certified life coach. And it's funny, part of me was like, I don't know if I'd be good at this. And my mentor, I'll never forget that day. I was like, you already are that. You can, and
Mm,
you'll be able to help so many people. And I was, you know what? I'm gonna pay attention, even though I can be stubborn. So the way
yeah.
I help women is literally a lot of the women I've been working with have been now a mix of entrepreneurs or corporate executives, all the way to people that are just working as well or starting their side businesses. And they all come with me. I feel stuck. I need some clarity. I feel a bit lost. So the way I help them is we're like literally digging in and pulling out the root. One of my gifts that I have, um, which I used to suppress, um, I can recognize patterns instantly. Sometimes to the point where I used to scare my mentors, like, "How'd you know that?"
Hmm.
um, I say it's a gift, it's intuition, and also recognizing patterns. So I'm able to really help someone go into something that they're like, "I don't know if I can do this." It's like I don't think that's the real issue. So I help them to understand what the actual real issue is, even though there was a trigger, and then being able to guide them to being on the other side. And I actually just did that with one of my clients. I do that all the time, but one of my clients specifically, she was saying, I can't do this. I can't send this newsletter. Um, she's just launching her business. I don't know if it's just too much and it's hot. And this was all through tech. This is through Slack. I was like, hey, I don't think that's a real issue. What else is going on in your life? So once we untangled and decluttered everything, there's a lot of big life changes happening. Well, no wonder you're stressed. You're also looking for a new job. You literally just moved out of your house. You're going to have longer commute time and you're living with your boyfriend. So it's
Hmm.
not just you can't do this. All of this on top of this is also making you doubt your business even more because you also have a fear of success. And she's like, oh my God. So I helped her with that. Once I asked her a few questions, obviously to help her to see that herself. And then we found the next step, and she actually just finished telling me, like, oh my God, I just sent off the newsletter, just on the social media, and I just have 8 people that signed on to my first event ever. So it's very
Hmm.
exciting to see that. I'm like, oh, I just help people to see what they don't, see sometimes. That's the best way for
Yeah.
me to explain it.
I love that. And you know what? Sometimes people don't stop to hear their own thoughts. They don't have somebody to be like a sounding board for them. And you're obviously listening very carefully. So you're able to kind of read between what they're saying and kind of give back to them maybe the part that they really aren't listening to themselves. So it's an amazing gift.
Yeah, thank you.
So what kinds of things like were showing up in your body? What helped you to start unwinding those patterns and what were you noticing within yourself that made you say, "Oh gosh, it's affecting me in so many ways?"
Oh, shoot. I don't know. Where should I start? Because there's a whole list. Well, if you want to look at the body, um, I was, man, okay. So I was very inflamed. I actually had a lot of acne. Um, and even the way I was eating, I mean, it was already bad enough. During that time, I was eating horribly. I mean, I literally blocks of cheese and bread. And I remember I had a roommate saying, I don't know if you're supposed to be eating that much. It's like, I'm hungry. This is what I'll eat.
Mm.
Um,
Mhm.
so I had a lot of digestive issues, a lot. And just really tired, really tired. And so, oh, the other thing I noticed because I had to give myself a homework, which was very difficult, was count in just one day how many times I say something like negative to myself. And when I
Mm.
counted it in one day, just even after like the first 2 hours, I was like, oh my God, I don't even treat my friends like that. What am I
Yeah.
doing? So
Mhm.
that, I mean, that was already hard to see. It's like, oh, that was only
For
2
sure.
hours. So all of these things I just kept, um, and I was actually really at that point because I wasn't eating. I had so many digestive issues. I also was very thin to the point that I was becoming underweight because I
Wow.
was also obsessed with the outer. So I need to look a certain part.
Yeah.
And I would also over exercise to the point
Mm.
where I find that it was actually called exercise bulimia, which is why I have so many I have I walk now and do all these things, but slowly. I'm not a runner anymore, but I would eat and then I would run 4 miles. I would eat
Oh, wow.
lunch, then I would run 2 miles. I would eat
Wow.
dinner, then I would go to the gym. I was like, you know, I don't eh, I don't think this is right. So it was a mix of things because I was trying to find something to control. Okay, well, let me see if I can control this.
Yeah.
But I just needed to look inside.
Of course, of course. And working in the fashion industry, I'm sure was not the most helpful with, this situation. So
No.
yeah, it makes it a lot harder. So you talk about doing everything right, but still feeling off. So when you look back, what do you think was actually happening beneath the surface?
So something that I had to understand is how to actually express what I was feeling because I really didn't understand how to do. I didn't even understand feelings really because I was raised more of a tomboy. So
Hmm.
I learned that I don't have time to be a crybaby. I need to be very tough.
Mm.
And um Also just seeing how much my parents worked, because my mom was from Honduras, my dad was from Panama. So they built everything from nothing. So I really had that resilience and grit. But I skipped over the part of, well, if I'm in pain or hurting or like really uncomfortable, I need to actually look at it, not just keep working. So I literally had to look at that as well and understand how to be able to process my emotions and then take action steps afterwards. And most importantly, was separating the part of where I used to believe that if I made a mistake, I was an awful person, I'm a bad person. But what I
Mm,
learned through my mentor was actually really seeing we need to separate that. If we look at the core and who we are as a person, here the soul, the spirit is always good and lovable. And separately from that, we're working on the outer shell, meaning the actions, intentions, behaviors, and thoughts, which are things that we can really change. And the more that I really practice it and said it, it started to sink in. I was like, oh man, even though I made a mistake, it doesn't mean I'm unlovable and I'm a horrible person. I've made this mistake. I'm human. I got to learn to see my mistakes as something that I can learn from, fix, take accountability, and move forward.
absolutely. That's such a common thing today. We're all so hard on ourselves. Half the stuff we say to ourselves, as you mentioned as well, like we wouldn't say to anyone else. It would be too hurtful, too harsh, too much, and yet it's okay to say it to ourselves, but no one's perfect. So it's such an amazing lesson to have that under your belt. From a nervous system perspective, like I know I often see like high achieving women kind of being in long-term overdrive and having no idea that they're even in that place. So how do you see that showing up in your own experience back then?
Oh, let me tell you. Okay, so so a lot of the symptoms I was feeling, and then I would move into like now moving into New York because it took me 7 years to pay that off, and 7 years of literally decluttering every aspect of physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically, everything.
Okay, so let me ask you, you created the Repurpose Your Life method. So tell us
Yeah.
more about the method and what does repurposing your life actually mean in practice for someone who feels stuck in patterns that they can't shift?
Yes. So the Repurpose Your Life method was literally created because of my own transformation. And when I looked back and zoomed out of what was happening through my life and then how I was helping other people, that's when the framework, like literally, I feel like it was a gift from God because I also got I call it the blueprint for Repurpose Your Life that happened in December 2022 was actually a winter solstice. And I saw that I'm helping people to trust in themselves again, reconnect with themselves, and just come home to themselves and to live in more of alignment, but really hearing what they are saying and trusting it and taking action. So, whenever I look at the framework of Repurpose Your Life, I'm helping people to declutter, repurpose, transform, and rise. So, decluttering is we're looking and literally decluttering the physical, the emotional, the mental, relationships, your physical space, environment. We're looking at different areas of your life. So you can call it the 9 dimensions of life. And that's in psychology already. Um, and after that, so letting go of the things that are no longer aligned. And then for repurposing, so whenever I look at repurpose, we're taking that pain into wisdom, pain into purpose, that shame, because all those things that we have felt, everything that we've been through, the trials and tribulations, they can all be served into greater good from your own
Mm.
learnings and how you become a better person 1% every day. Then transforming. So, transforming is that step where people are realizing, oh my God, it's almost like alchemy. So, you're taking everything that you've learned, you're believing more in yourself, and then now you are maybe sharing that in your corporate, being an entrepreneur. Maybe you're building your own business, you're helping your community, you're doing something, you're transforming. and you get these ideas and want to put it into place. And rising is what happens as you continue to share your gifts and talents and who you are as a person and the ripple effect that it has. So it's just expansion of who you are. You're believing in yourself more, trusting in yourself more, sharing your story, and you're really now stepping into your next era. And it's
Mm.
really being reflected back to you because of your community, your friends, your family, how you're feeling. So it's just this beautiful cycle. And it's because we're constantly evolving, and that has been through my own experience and through my clients, you're constantly evolving. So that's like the meta, but I'm taking you through different sections where there's emotional processing frameworks that I teach you, looking at your time, looking at your energy cycles, all the way to really putting your steps and taking action steps where you can start gaining more trust and confidence. So whether that is through, I teach the body connection meditation, so nervous system frameworks for you to be able to use these tools. Because my goal for everyone is for them to be able to know how to help themselves. You're going to take
Mm.
these tools and implement them. And as my mentor would always say, it's like, you are your own teacher, your own life coach and everything. I'm just giving you the tools so you can continue. So that's
Yeah.
what I do. Let me save you some time. Let me give you all these tools. And it just really helps everyone to see more of themselves. That's why this is the deep work. It's
Hmm.
we go into the root.
Yeah.
Um, so that's that retraining and looking at the subconscious and bringing them into light so we can start seeing how we can change them to work in alignment with us.
I love that. Yeah. And you have a quote on your website that really stood out to me. You cannot out strategize a body that does not feel safe. And I definitely talk a lot about this in my work too, because even a physical body doesn't heal when it doesn't feel safe. And certainly any kind of nervous system dysregulation plays a role in not feeling safe. So please elaborate for everyone because I love this.
Oh, yes. So that quote is very close to home because as someone that has I built 4 different businesses and living in New York City,
That
having a
alone,
full
right?
that alone, having a full-time job, paying off this debt, um, even though I've had so many business coaches, I have done so much in my businesses, the one thing that helped was for me to actually feel safe in my body. I would say this is a constant practice because even from getting out of debt, then I had to rechange that story, but then really understand, oh, I don't have to completely, I don't always have to be in this surviving aspect because that's what I've always been used to. So now I have to look at money and my relationship with that in a whole different way. Then I have to
Mhm.
be okay with asking for help because as someone that was super hyper independent, I can do it, no problem. Then um feeling safe enough to be seen because there was actually something that I went through. What? Because my mom died, my dad died, my mentor died. I was like, OMG, I am my
Wow.
only anchor here. It was a lot in a span of like 3 years.
Oh my
And
gosh.
what I found, what I found, I would say 2024 was my. I hated that year. It was
Mm.
it was a tough year because I also retired one of my businesses. My mentor died, and I couldn't walk for 6 months. And
Oh
at
my
this
gosh.
point, I actually had to build a new relationship with safety because I was still like trying to find something to cling on to, my business, to money, to even my mentor, to all these things I was doing. And once I lost all these things, like, uh-oh, what what am I doing and who am I and how am what is this relationship now with myself going to look like? I have to pivot. My mentor just died, the person that saw me the most. And then I had to retire a business because that was another layer that I felt like another mask, I say, that I felt like I had to continue. Yes, I was very good at it. That one of the business was actually tailoring and design alterations business. And I got it to the point where it was word of mouth. It was 12 years. It was super profitable. I mean, I was bringing money just a lot just for that. And also working with VIPs and celebrities where I would still actually last month I got a text. Still to this day, people still ask for my services, even though I retired. And then they get upset when I tell them I
Huh.
retired because I was a master tailor and then I had a team of sewers and all these things. But even that, I was still holding on to a mess that wasn't me anymore. So I learned a lot about safety that year and feeling safe in my body because I had to find a way to trust in myself that I'm secure and I can handle this and that it doesn't have to always be so hard.
What kinds of things did you do that helped you?
Number one, nature. And that is when in 2024, I was diving deeper into my spirituality, meaning I always say that the universe, I was forcefully, I finally listened because I was forced into it.
It's
I would say
always
my
the
whole,
way.
right? I was pushed. In 2020, after this heartbreak, I started finding all my teachers in Central Park. Teachers meaning I found a gong master to learn from. I found a priestess from Guyana to learn more about Kemetic yoga, energy, African shamanism. I'm like, what is happening? I found my
Yeah.
shamanic teacher who I started to study a bit more and like became initiated. I'm like, what is happening? And come to find out, my family, even I'm the only one that gets to live out loud, but my grandmother did exorcisms and did a lot of work with the priests in the community. She built orphanages. She was a singer. She was a composer. My mom was super intuitive. She's an accountant. She was very creative. My dad
Mm.
was a healer in his own method, his own way. He was a doctor, and everyone built from nothing. And then when I go back to my lineage, my great grandmother was a midwife, an herbalist. My other grandmother built 3 businesses. So I'm like, this stuff runs in my family, but I've been hiding it for so long. So what
Yeah.
I found was learning more about my roots, my ancestry. I was like, oh, and seeing what they went through and what they were able to do and trust enough in themselves. Then I had to add a lot of different homeworks that I also give to my clients. um, is having proof of everything that I've been able to do to show me what trust is. I was like, well, I had to trust myself enough to move to New York City with like only um this amount of money and and with trust, I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know anybody in New York. Um and then nature, because
Mhm.
there was nothing like me going outside and being able to find like feel feel this peace and lower my anxiety. And of course, when I started to dive more into the science of it, I was like, oh my God, they're always helping me.
Yeah.
Um,
It's the
and just
grounding thing that you were probably missing from, not having some of those people in your life too.
yes. So I was like, I'm definitely I have a lot of my best friends are earth signs, and I find it's great.
Mhm.
Because I'm always outside. So that's the other stability that I find is the earth. And how can I ground
Yeah.
myself here? And also processing a lot of I still do my homework. Everything that I teach, I still work on and just continuing.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah.
and processing emotions and like taking my next step and like reframing those stories.
What do you think people are trying to earn or prove through like overworking and burnout and all of that?
Oh, I'll tell you what I was trying to. And I
Mhm.
have some clients that I helped with too. It's the validation. Letting them know that they're good enough. Because I got this sensation of like, oh, I'm doing something for someone else. That means I'm good. Hooray. You get a check mark. You get a star by your name. So I was
Mhm.
always looking for that. And that validation helped me to feel loved because I saw love as conditional. If you do something, then I'll love you more. Then
Mhm.
you're good enough. Um,
Yeah, it's
so
like a
yeah,
perceived value, you know? It's like like people get assigned a value to like tasks or to, doing is value or things of that nature.
yeah.
And when someone begins to shift internally, what are some of the real life changes that you like see showing up externally?
Oh, this is so great. So I'll talk about one of my clients. She's been a client for now 6 years. I've actually helped her in her first business, and then she just has been seeing my growth and each other's growth. So I just helped her to build and stand into what she really wants to be doing because she allowed herself. So that's number one. She's giving herself permission. Number two, she started to put more boundaries. That was so amazing to see. And I'll keep track of everything to show her because, again, she likes to prove too, just like I do. Um, she said no to people that continued to like take advantage of her, but she also saw how she was enabling. So that was a really profound sign of awareness and like change. And she's like, I don't want to do this anymore. Isabel,
Mm,
I just emailed these people. I don't she's a well-known fashion design well-known fashion designer here. Like I just
mhm,
said no and put all my rules and boundaries and contracts. If you're gonna work with me as stylist, you have X amount of days. I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool to see. She
mhm.
also um I think the biggest shift was she downsized her studio, already saving like $60,000, to something
Wow.
smaller to really hone in what she really wants to do, which is more custom bridal atelier, beautiful for her clients and like really serving those experience for them. And customizable like suits for weddings. Uh and then the I mean there's so many big changes. But the next thing that I saw, she actually is working on her overworking, and she has already planned, and this is something I also give my students is plan your vacation and your times, your free time first. And I most people are like, "What?" No, trust me. And when she started planning her vacations and all these things that she wanted to do that she kept saying no to for 4 years, she felt this huge relief. She said, "I've been telling myself for the last 4 years, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go visit a friend here, and all these things that I wanted to do that I've been postponing because I need to work, because I need to meet the next deadline. I have to do all of this stuff for everybody else." And then seeing her do that, uh, it's really transformational. And
Essentially, you're having people do that because it allows them to prioritize themselves and their own self-care and all that too.
yes,
It's smart. Yeah, I love
yes.
that.
So that was one of the biggest changes, and then implementing, continuing those systems in their house. She purchased one of my big, so it's a Repurpose Your Life transformation package where we're decluttering every aspect of your life. I even go into your home and help you declutter your space and your office space. So she's continuing with those systems,
I
and
love
she's
that.
still to this day. She'll send me a picture like, look, I decluttered more stuff, and then
Oh,
I'm
that's
keeping
cool.
up with your system, and still, so she was like, I'm still using your system because you're always in my head somehow." I was like,
That's the best. I love that.
"Okay,
S- So, I mean, you've experienced both burnout and hospitalization. And looking back now, were there signs your body was trying to get your attention before it reached that point?
yes." Oof. So I'll tell you, and it still brings me shivers because I can still feel that pain. So, 1, I was super dehydrated. 2, I was having a lot of trouble sleeping. At that point, I was taking Lunesta. And then I had, tons of melatonin. I could never sleep, very well, whether it's 4 hours, 5 hours a night. I was like, "I'll just start working again." Um, I was also the digestive issues were a really big problem because it was going from one extreme to the other. So whether it's, I know, TMI, but
Mm,
either loose stool, diarrhea, or all the way to being constipated, I'm like, "Oh my God." Um I
yeah.
always stressed out when I was eating. This was the biggest marker, and then probably like 2 months after that, that's when this this happened where I had to go to the hospital. I was so tired, I was falling asleep Now I can laugh at that, but I was falling asleep in restaurants. I fell
Oh,
asleep in a
wow.
bar. And these are loud places, like, we're packed, and it was, one of those little not little booths, a booth, and there's like 8 people there. I'm falling asleep. And then I remember I fell asleep in mid-conversation. I actually just did a reel about this. This person was talking to me, sharing all these things that they're doing, and I'm just like, where you're like, your eyes are so heavy. It's like, God, I just can't keep my eyes open. Let me just close one eye. And then I
Oh
felt
my
so bad.
gosh.
The person sharing was like, I'm sorry, I must be really boring. I was like, no, I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
no.
I didn't get that much sleep last night, and God, pretty much for the whole year. I'm just really tired. I was like, something is wrong with me. And I was the girl that the guys that I would date, they only had pictures of me like sleeping on like the couch, or like, because I was always tired.
Oh
So
my
then,
gosh.
yeah, and that's 3 months later. Again, uh, overworking. Trying to There was something that inside of me said I need to take vitamin C, and I just started taking all these vitamin C's. It was like 2,000 milligrams, 5,000 milligrams. And I remember, because that's when I started. It was right before I moved. eh, No, not before New York. Um, I was actually working because I needed to bring in more money, because I already had found out how much debt I had. So now I have to start bringing in money. So one of the jobs I had was working at Macy's while I was still doing my alterations and trying to build up some type of revenue so I could build up to pay off my debt, because I had to close down my fashion brand. So I was at Macy's working, and I started to feel this really harsh pain that I ignored for a really long time. So this UTI
Mm.
actually became more of an infection. And I will never forget, TMI, everybody, but I went to the bathroom at I had so much pain that I peed blood. And I
Yeah.
felt like someone was like literally stabbing me.
Oh my gosh.
And I called, I had to call my manager. It's like, I just peed blood. I don't know what to do. It's like, you need to go to the hospital right now. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my God. And
It's like
then I
kidney
thought,
infection or something at that
yeah,
level.
yes.
Mhm.
So at that point, I had to go to the hospital. I drove myself there. Oh God. In so much pain, but the hospital was nearby. And then, yeah, they said, um, they put me on so many pills, like different, and like, there's like some yellow thing that I had to see to excrete everything. I don't even know all the terminology, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
I just remember I will never forget that pain. And at that point, I was like, I don't ever want to be this bad again, that I ignore myself for so long. But they said the infection got so bad that it's like, do you get frequent UTIs? It's like, oh, I mean, kinda. It's like, uh-oh.
It's just like something else that you were ignoring, and it was kind of your body being like, okay, alarm, alarm, wake up.
Yes. And that alarm really woke me up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
understood. My gosh. And so I guess looking at things today, like what does integration look like in your work between mindset, nervous system, identity, and like day-to-day action?
Ooh, so I would day-to-day action. So I go outside every day, especially I live in New York City. So I do
Mhm.
live by Central Park. So I am out there every day. I don't care if it's raining, snowing, doesn't matter. Um, and I always start the day with something I want to do for myself. So either it's meditation, um, and I actually studied from a Vedic meditation teacher. So I learned transcendental meditation, but they call it's from what I understand, it's a Vedic meditation. That's where that came from. Um,
Okay.
Read, because there's so many. I always like to keep up with the research or learn something because I love that. Freed my mind. I also, um, making sure I'm eating my food 3 times a day, because I just entered perimenopause, so I'm learning all new, making sure I can't do anything that I used to do back then. It
Yeah.
has to be super, like, slow, gentle, then I do some type of exercise. Obviously, depending on where I am on my cycle, but I do weight training 3 times a week because that really helps my body, my mind. I sweat. And then making sure I'm cooking food so I don't order Uber Eats like 24/7 like I used to all the time. That really has helped with my digestion. Um, and then focusing on 1 to 3 goals max because as an overworker, I would have way too many goals and a to-do list that's as long as a CVS receipt. And then end my day at 6 p.m. Eastern because I don't want to keep overworking. And that's really helped with just everything. So I had to shift my identity of like, I don't need to be working 24/7.
If someone only takes one thing from this conversation and your experience, what do you wish it would be?
Give yourself permission to drop all the masks. You don't have to
Mm,
do anything. All you have to do is be you and to really trust in your own intuition. We all have our own moral compass. And it's just trusting enough and being able to declutter all the noise that's outside of you to really just listen to ourselves.
that's
And
beautiful. I love
and
that.
takes practice, everyone. Just practice.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not something you could just do overnight for sure. So, and I'd love to end here. So, what does a truly aligned life look like for you now? Not just in terms of success, but in how it feels to live inside of your body.
Oh, I like this question. So, um, I would say feeling more secure and grounded in like the decisions that I make. And even though, because I actually just retired another business, like this month. So my Airbnb, I don't have it anymore. I don't have my tailoring business anymore. So just focusing on repurpose your life. So even though I don't know what's going to happen, trusting myself enough that I believe that I can handle whatever comes my way. Um, and being flexible and adaptable and also curious. And then safe in the body is appreciating where I'm at now because my body has been changing since I'm 42, but really appreciating who I am now and like this body has taken me through so many deaths and rebirths and really being gracious with myself and really focusing on I want to be strong physically. I want to be strong mentally. And that to me is just like really hearing and trusting my own intuition.
Yeah, so much of this is really about trusting yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that. And so, how can people work with you?
Oh, okay. So if you're in New York City, um, I do many different events. So I have uh 3 events per month at the My Little Magic Shop. That's on 94th in Amsterdam in New York City. And then I personally will be hosting and building a micro healing center that's going to launch at the end of August in the Upper West Side, where I'm going to be having intimate gatherings from sound baths to cacao circles to I also offer one-to-one healing, energy healing, and I'm building a membership for it's called the Repurpose Your Life Collective. And that's going to be $47 a month on school.com, where I'm going to start sharing more of my teachings. So, not just one to one. So, more people will have access to the teachings that I've been sharing through the Declutter, Repurpose, Transform, and Rise framework.
That's great. So you have like the in person offers on the Upper West, and then you have the like basically it's virtual, right? For the
Yes.
membership.
Online. Yes.
Okay.
I'll be having workshops once a month. And then, yeah, that'll be all online.
That's great. Well, I think that you have so much to share. You have so much life experience, so much you can offer to others, and so much wisdom. And I really believe there's nothing more powerful than someone experiencing their own transformation and then really doing what they can to give back to others so that they can help them to get through their own. And that's definitely what you're doing. So thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us and share all your wisdom with us.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you. And everyone, all this information will be in the show notes. And thank you all so much for tuning in and have a beautiful day.